The movie starts at night in a forest where two men are hiding. One hears noises and grabs his machete to investigate. Suddenly they are attacked by unknown animals. One man, known as Number 3, tries to run but is caught by a Mogadorian commander. The commander takes his necklace and kills him. The young man turns to dust, and the commander adds his necklace to a collection, showing that Number 3 is not the first victim. The scene shifts to John Smith, or Number 4, having fun in the ocean with his friends. That evening, while swimming with a girl, his leg begins to glow and he screams in pain. He also sees Number 3, who warns him of danger. People on the beach see John acting strangely and mock him. John wakes up on the beach, joined by Henri, his protector. Henri notices the wound on John's leg and realizes that Number 3 has been killed. Henri quickly takes John away from the coastal cottage, destroying all photos of his friends to protect his identity. During their trip, John explains that he and 8 other gifted children escaped from the planet Lorien after it was invaded by the Mogadorians, or Mogs. The Mogs must kill the children in order, and the scar on John's leg means that numbers 1, 2, and 3 are dead. John is now the next target. Henri gives John a new identity and tells him to stay hidden. They move to an old house in Paradise, Ohio for safety. There, John finds a poster of a football star named Bernie Kosar. A small lizard secretly follows them to the house. Henri tries to erase John's presence from social media to keep him safe from the Mogs. Suddenly, John and Henri hear a strange noise outside the house. The lizard that followed them turns into a dog. John decides to keep the dog and names him Bernie Kosar. Henri is initially against it, but John insists it's just a dog and not a threat. Later, Henri secretly hides a mysterious box inside a wall clock. This box was left by John's father and will be given to John when the time is right. Meanwhile, Number 6 arrives at the bungalow looking for John but finds no one. She decides to burn it down, and after an explosion, it's revealed that she is fireproof. The next morning, John insists on going to school. He promises to be inconspicuous, so Henri reluctantly lets him go and gives him a phone. At school, John's dog follows him, and while waiting for his schedule, John notices Sarah in the principal's office. Sarah has been caught secretly photographing a teacher, and John is attracted to her. The staff asks Sarah to help John with his locker. Henri calls John to check if everything is okay, but John doesn't answer. Mark, a bully, and his friends approach John and introduce themselves. When Mark walks away, John sees him bully a nerdy boy named Sam and throw away his skateboard. John returns the skateboard and befriends Sam. After school, John sees Mark bullying Sam again. Angered, John throws a ball at one of Mark's friends, knocking him over. John notices Sarah taking pictures of him from a distance, showing her interest. That evening, John finds Sarah's website with an album of photographs of him. Henri deletes all of John's pictures to keep him hidden. The Mogs discover that Number 4 is still alive after finding the burned bungalow. The next day, John's palms emit a bright light, known as lumen. Henri senses this and rushes to the school. John, panicked, hides in the janitor's room and tries to turn off the light. Henri arrives and reassures him, explaining that the light means his superpowers are starting to manifest. Henri tells John that he will get stronger and faster and must learn to control his powers. Curious about his powers, John experiments by throwing a stone into space and performing graceful jumps. Meanwhile, the Mog commander buys food at a grocery store to feed to his massive strange beasts. John unexpectedly meets Sarah on the street and she invites him to her home for dinner. Her parents tell John that Sarah is interested in photography and suggest they visit the town's night carnival. After dinner, they go to Sarah's room where John discovers her scrapbook, revealing that she doesn't like to be photographed. Unfortunately, Bernie Kosar barks loudly outside, forcing John to leave. The school bully watches him as he walks away. The next day, as Sam counsels his friend to avoid Sarah, the pink paint Mark had set earlier explodes from their lockers. The paint has soiled Sam's image with his biological father, and he gets enraged, throwing himself at the bully. John's palms begin to glow again, but he manages to keep his cool and walks away. While cleaning himself in the bathroom, the nerdy boy tells him about his real father, who was obsessed with aliens and has mysteriously disappeared. John spots Sarah in the school hallway but decides to avoid her. Henri, who has been conducting research on Sam's father, visits an old factory where Sam's father conducted tests. There he discovers enigmatic signs on the column and a peculiar glowing rock on the ground, known as a locator. Henri takes it home and begins to study it. Meanwhile, John is in his room when he receives an invitation from Sarah to an Eve. During the Spring Scream Festival, Sarah reveals that she and Mark used to be a couple, and that Mark purposely leaked all his secrets to others after their separation. The two then embark on a creepy carriage ride through the woods. When they arrive at the next area, Hell's Gate, Mark and his friends attack them and begin beating John. As Sam secretly watches them, John is forced to use his abilities. He eventually rescues Sarah and nearly breaks Max's arm. He accompanies Sarah home and finally gets to kiss her. He realizes that he has become stronger when he breaks a lamppost with the palm of his hand. He visits Sam's house and reveals his true origins to him, confirming that his father was right all along. John warns him not to tell anyone because it might put him in danger, and Sam agrees. The next day, a local sheriff who turns out to be Mark's father visits John's house. He questions John about attacking his son, but John denies it, saying he wasn't paying attention. Henri is proud of John for getting used to his powers. A video of John screaming in pain at the ocean goes viral, and Henri advises them to leave quickly since he can't delete it. John, however, refuses to go because he's fallen for Sarah and starts an argument with Henri. Henri is soon kidnapped, and John needs to rescue him. John and Sam travel to the location where Henri is being held. John tells Sam to follow a man while he sneaks into the house. Inside, John finds newspaper articles about missing persons and eventually discovers Henri, who is tied up. The kidnappers are revealed to be conspiracy theorists working for the Mogs. A Mog attacks them, and John and Sam manage to escape. Henri confronts the Mog but is stabbed in the chest. As they drive away, Henri gives John a special knife and tracker, explaining that Sam's father used a similar rock to find Lorian's children. Henri urges John to find his kind and join forces to stop the Mogs. The Mogs execute the conspiracy theorists for failing to capture John. Meanwhile, local sheriffs declare John a terrorist and invade his home. Sarah becomes suspicious and questions John about his true identity. As they drive away, Sam reveals he has another piece of the rock his father found in Mexico. Sam and John find the rock with Bernie's help, and John visits Sarah to say goodbye. The cops corner them on Sarah's roof, and John uses his telekinesis to save Sarah from falling. He also uses his powers to lift a police car, allowing them to escape. The Mogs arrive in trucks and confront Mark and his father. The commander orders Mark to lead them to John. Sam tells John that the Mogs have surrounded the school. As they try to escape, Number 6, also known as Jane, arrives with her special weapon and helps fight the aliens. A battle ensues and Jane quickly takes down 2 Mogs. The Mogs unleash flying lizards and Bernie transforms into a fierce monster to help fight them. After a tough battle, Bernie is injured and returns to being a sweet dog. Jane asks John to charge her with his light, and together they defeat the remaining Mogs. They head to the soccer field where the commander and another monster are waiting. With their combined skills, John and Jane defeat the guards and nearly kill the commander. Jane is captured, but John helps her using his powers. Eventually, John kills the commander in a huge explosion, and both he and Jane survive due to her fireproof abilities. The next day, they connect the blue rocks and locate the remaining Lorian children. Mark shows up and gives John Henry's mysterious box. Sam joins the team and John shares a final kiss with Sarah. Bernie, injured but alive, joins them as they flee the town. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If not, hit the dislike button twice just to be sure. Watch the whole movie for the full experience. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.